What did that win down in West Virginia mean for you guys? You know, we heard from Blake and Coach talking about how you guys like really needed a win, but what was it like afterwards when you actually got it?
I think first of all, it's West Virginia. You know, it's a backyard brawl, so it's like a special win. But also, from the losses we came from, it was also about us and like super important for us. So I felt like it was a super special moment to win the backyard brawl and to get back into a winning sensation. And now we gotta focus up until the next one.
Yeah, I agree. It was definitely a special win. Just to go in somebody else's, our first like actual away game, go get it on the road against your rivals. That was definitely a good feeling.
Bob, did you go into that game with a different mindset than the previous games? Because you took a little less shots, but still had a strong game, scoring the ball and passing the ball.
Yeah, I definitely felt like if you see in our early games, we were successful, and I was kind of mainly the distributor, and I kind of got away from that. So I wanted to go back towards that, and as you can see, that's helping us a lot.
But how are teams, since the first game when you had the triple-double, how are teams defending you different than they were back then about a month ago?
They're just trying to be really aggressive, just beat me up all game, trying to force me to my left hand as well. So that's the kind of the scout right now, just be aggressive and force me to my left. But we put in things and I've been doing things to offset that. So just on to the next one.
How are you with your left hand?
I think I'm fine
confident
with it.
with it?
Yeah, I think I'm fine with it, but I guess they don't think so.
It seemed like the student section was coming after you a little bit, not coming after you, but they booed you quite a bit when you touched the ball. How did you feel like you reacted to that?
I mean, you've been playing in front of crowds our whole lives. That comes with the game. I don't think much of it.
You had a play where you drove, I think, all the way under the basket and then found Blake at the logo for a three. What's it like to have a guy that can hit it from there? And were you always looking for him on that play?
When I drove, and I seen Blake at the top, so when I'm driving, I'm thinking he's gonna replace, move away. He stood there, like he didn't move. So I take another dribble, didn't move. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna pass on. He stood in that same spot, hands up, asked for the ball, and that's what he does, man. Shoot that from wherever and makes it.
You guys are both good three-point shooters. Do you ever think trying to do the same thing, be logo shooters like Blake?
Damn, I got a few more years for that one to come.
Not yet.
Yeah.
We're not at that point yet.
You leave that to him, for sure.
For both of you guys, what's like going through your mind when you're watching Blake go on a heater like that, like at West Virginia or kind of towards the end of the Clemson game? Like what goes through your mind when you're watching him do that?
I don't know, I don't know if you can see my reaction, but when he shoots that step back from the logo, I'm like, did he really just make that? Like, for me, it's just watching the ball go in, and I'm going back like, did he really just make that? Like, how can you guard it? Like, as a defense, how can you even guard it? It's just he got that thing that when he gets in that role, in that heat, you can't really do anything to stop him.
It's a little different for me. Like, obviously you're excited. I mean, that's your teammate hitting a three, but for me, it's like, and we actually were talking about this earlier in the locker room, like, Blake's always the first one here. You walk in, he's already walking in the locker room with drenched full of sweat. It's like, you see him work so hard, it's like, that's gonna go in. Like, he works for that, like, he's gonna get rewarded for all the work that he does.
Yeah, that happened to me. Like, I got here the next day to the game. I got here at like 10:30, 11, and I walk in the locker room's empty. I'm like, damn, I'm the first one here, Damn, yeah. 10 seconds later, Blake was in the locker room, full of sweat.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, bro.
Was it today?
That was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
What kind of leader is Blake? Like, how does he lead you guys? Because last year, obviously, you guys had all those veterans. This year, he seems like the main leader on this team. But how does he lead?
I feel like first of all, like, he leads with example. Like, he shows us how to do things, like how to treat teammates, how to work ethic, and then he also leads us like motivational. Like, he says the right thing in the right moment. He brings the energy up too, and he's like a leader you want to follow. First of all, because like we love him, so we really want to follow him to the end.
Yeah, he's definitely more of like the energetic leader. He's gonna always boost you up. He's gonna have a good time, but you still gotta get your work in. He's one of those kind of guys.
when you're facing, so like West Virginia obviously faced Blake at 9 threes. You know, have you ever been in that situation, and how do you feel when a guy is just that hot against you from that deep?
It feels good, especially as a guard. I mean, it makes my life a whole lot easier. You know, you can fast spin the ball from anywhere, and he's gonna get you an assist. So it's definitely a great feeling, especially for me. It makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, and like I feel like for the other teams, like taking a big punch, you know, because like you're playing your defense, you're making a guy shooting from the logo, and he hits it. Like now, especially like when we're in a roll, and now it hits her, it's like the defense take a punch, and now they're like, fuck, you know. So it's like for us, it's better. My bad. My bad.
Can't say that, bro.
I won't quote you, though.
Like a Luka, bro. Like Luka.
You're not Luka.
You're not Luka, but you had a pretty good game against West Virginia. What was working for you down there?
I don't know. It's one of those days that everything you do is just feels right. You know, every time you shoot the ball, it feels right. And then you got excellent pointers like Bub that gives you the right passes in the right moment. And you know, just it felt right to shoot the ball, and it's a good game.
Last year, you guys, you know, there was a lot of work with you guys in the forwards, trying to, you know, toughen you guys up. Tim would use the shield. What kind of things are you guys doing this year to get you guys ready for physical play? ACC play comes in a few weeks here.
We're still doing all the hitting from Tia, that's for sure. But also when we play against big boys guys, first of all we get the help from the fire, but also how to do the work early. Don't let them catch the ball and don't let them get angles. So you know, first of all, it's a fight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the one that fights it the most is gonna win that spot. But yeah, definitely be ready for duck hints and be ready to reject those angles.
So a lot of preparation, I imagine, goes into denying the ball,
Yeah.
and trying to study teams to cut them off to get there.
Yeah. So when we know that a team is gonna look for those post ups, like for those duck hints, we work early on. Okay, now he's gonna duck in, so be always ready to get in front of him or deny this angle. So it just comes from before, from watching film and knowing when he's gonna duck in, when are they gonna look for him. So it's just a lot of work.
Bob, similar question. How have you kind of seen growth or at least new challenges in how you have to study basketball at a Power 5 school?
I've seen that it requires more. Like you gotta just do everything you did, you know, in high school, whatever, before, just do it a lot more, you know, and pay more attention to detail. Because obviously, as you go on, you play against a lot of good guards that do a lot of different things. And you got to come in a game with a full scout on that guard, because you got to win that matchup, especially at the guard position. If you want to have your team win, you got to win that matchup. So it's definitely just a lot more preparing and a lot more attention to detail.
Have there been points where you kind of been like, whoa, like at any time where it's kind of been like, man, I'm still getting used to how much studying and preparation goes into this on top of having to play at this level?
For sure, especially against better teams, because there's just a lot more you got to worry about, you know? Like, for example, like Clemson, that's a team where it's like they got, you know, guards on guards. They got people that can shoot, people that just drive, and it's like, it's just a lot you got to worry about with a good team, you know? So it's, you know, like I said, just a lot of attention to detail.
Guillermo, do you see your inside game expanding as the season goes on? Right now, you're a really good three-point shooter, but maybe coming inside and scoring more?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like once you get more confident with the ball, you get, I don't know, like you have more patience and stuff like that. So I gotta keep working on that. And you know, also like once teams know that I can shoot, they're gonna start like pressing up. So now I gotta be able also to drive the ball and to find my teammates. So, you know, you just keep working on it and keep watching film and see the things where I can improve.
You guys have gone through a pretty brutal stretch, 5 straight against Power 5 opponents. What have you kind of learned about this team that you maybe didn't know before?
First of all, I think like that was great for us because, ACC, all the teams this year are looking really good. So we gotta get used to like going back to back against really good teams. But it also feels good, it feels good to play against competition, and it feels good to, get punched and look at the guys with you and be able to connect and get off the mat and get back to it.
I would say one thing I learned is that no matter, we have games where we shot the ball great, as you can see, like last game, we got games where we shot the ball horribly. But one thing I learned about us going against all these good schools is that we never give up. Like, we're gonna stick together. We're trying to play the game out to the end, and I really like that about this group of guys for sure.
Blake talks to us about how you and Jalen are going to get it. He keeps telling everybody that to watch out for y'all. What kind of stuff does he say to you guys, like day in and day out of practice, or just when you guys are just around being guys?
Blake always tells us to just be confident and trust your instincts. He recognizes that me and Jalen, I always say we're pretty decent basketball players, so he just says, trust your instincts. A lot of people are going to tell you to do a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, you're the one with the ball in your hands. So just make the read that you think is going to be the right read, and if it's not, he said he's going to let us know. He's going to let us know.
Is Ish the same way, or is he different?
Yeah, Ish is the same way. Ish says the same thing. Trust your instincts. They believe in us, and we believe in them for sure.
Jalen came in and got 3 big buckets in this last game against West Virginia. How is his game different than yours at the guard position?
I would say that Jalen's is a lot more, I want to say aggressive. Like Jalen's, I feel like Jalen, I'll even admit that he has he's a lot more like offensive potential. He does a lot of things that I can't do, like a floater and like deep threes and shit like that. So I feel like he's more of like an offensive threat, and I feel like he's like a lot more craftier. So I feel like we kind of offset each other, where I kind of like steadier and he's kind of like craftier.